So, with Micron's recent volatile price swings and high expectations heading into the print, how should you be trading this one? Well, your next guest has been a shareholder since last April, and he might add to that position if we see another post-earnings pullback. Let's bring in Michael Landsberg. He is Landsberg Bennett Private Wealth Management CIO. Michael, you bought the stock back in April of last year. You're up 1,150% in just over a year. That's a lot of money. Why not sell into that, take some of those profits?
Well, Brian, we do rebalance from time to time, so I don't want to make it sound like we've ridden it up the hole and never taking any money off the table. But as you can imagine, we bring in new clients. So obviously, we're always looking to be able to establish new positions. And Micron's been a great name in that space because it gives you, this year alone, has been 4 or 5 times we've seen a 20% trade-off. Just this month, earlier in the month, it was 1089. A week later, it was 850. Went to 1213 a week ago, and it's probably around $1,000. So it's a name that you really have to like longer term. I don't think we have to go out very long. I think we're going to see $120 a share in 27. It trades at 8 times earnings, 8.5 times earnings, next year's earnings. So I think you want to buy on dips, and you'll get dips.
I'm going to say something I don't think I've ever said in 30 years, which is a stock that's up 700% in 12 months. Is it possible Micron is undervalued? And I say that, Michael, not because I'm making the value judgment, but when I see earnings per share estimates rise by 985% and the stock move less than the EPS revisions, it makes you wonder.
I would agree. I mean, we kind of see people going out to 2030 and 2035 to give you a valuation on SpaceX. But the irony with that is you don't have to go very far for Micron and get these big earnings numbers. So I definitely think it's undervalued from that standpoint. And that's kind of the focus you have to do, is don't get too excited about the today story. If we get a pullback, you want to be able to buy it. No different than you and I talked a couple months ago about South Korea. It had moved a lot, but the story is still very much the same there. You can buy these on a momentum.
Yeah, I mean, in South Korea fell 10% yesterday, and it was, listen, I'm not minimizing a 10% drop, but I also know the index rose 240% in a year. Micron fell 13% yesterday, but on top of the 700% gain over the year, I'm assuming guys like you would expect that, hey, I'm going to own Micron, and by owning Micron, I'm going to have to stomach 10% moves, sometimes to the downside.
Absolutely. I think you're going to stomach that. We've seen that already this month a couple times. So I think you're going to definitely have to see that. But at the same point, I think this has changed a bit. It used to be more of a commoditized situation, but I think AI demand for these chips has changed the game. Now, as Christina noted, you have an issue with just getting enough supply. They're only giving their best customers like 50 to 75% of the orders. And we see that for a while. Tim Cook just said recently, we're going to see iPhone price increases because of the memory shortage. I think that's a big issue. And if it can continue, you see these stocks continue to do well because now the AI demand is going to be a lot more than just, let's say, the other demand that made it a commodity before.
Yeah, okay. Other tech buys you have include Datadog and Snowflake. Now, those are very different companies, and both are down recently because they've been caught up in this sell-off of software. You're obviously not that worried. Otherwise, you wouldn't have bought these companies. Why buy Datadog? Why buy Snowflake?
I think part of the issue is when you're looking at these names that have done well over a long period of time is where are the entry points? I mean, and that's really, again, software by and large has gotten hurt a bit. I think in some instances, rightfully so. But in these names, I think I look at them and say, the growth is going to be there. The earnings are going to be there. They've traded off a bit more recently. It gives us an opportunity to step in. And again, I don't want to pay, 52-week high, all-time highs for names. I would like to see a good story where I can own it for 2, 3, 4 years, but look for the right entry points to be able to get in there with something that's a necessity that isn't going to be basically taken out kind of by AI, where some of the software names definitely have some AI vulnerability that we want to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you also recently, I think, either bought or added to NVIDIA. NVIDIA, a few months ago, was the hottest stock in the world. It's still done very well, up 33% in the year. But over the past couple of months, it has not been hot. Why do you remain confident in NVIDIA?
I mean, NVIDIA doesn't trade at a big multiple, Brian, but obviously, at the end of the day, NVIDIA drives the world in terms of AI. Their chips are the best. Everything kind of goes through there. And it has this ability, as well as Micron has, to give you some opportunities to buy it. In the last 12 months, you've seen 3 or 4, 15 to 20% corrections in NVIDIA that have given you a chance to either add to positions, or for the 3 people on the planet that don't currently own it, you can establish a position now where you're not paying the 52-week high for a name. We like the trend continues to be higher, but we don't want to pay all-time highs and get caught up in the exuberance that can kind of survive or deal with Micron's crazy exuberance, or for 6 months or a year, it was NVIDIA's exuberance. We want to be able to take a step back and buy them when they're less exuberant.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird to think that a 13% gain in 3 months is not great, but compared to a lot of the other AI-related names, it's not great. But still, you like it. Michael Landsberg, CIO at Landsberg, Bennett, Private Wealth Management. Michael, have a great day. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, Brian.
All right, folks, we are just getting started.